All right. So let's
get into the good stuff.
Oh, the good stuff. Now
Out of
getting,
the comfort.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
I love it. No, all right. So I became a fireman, right? And I've always done decent in school. I've never been the straight A student because I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
I was the one out and about and whatnot, and then I did decent on tests. So so went through that. Became a fireman when I was 19. I was the youngest fireman. And I got to, one of the captains just took me under his wing, right? And the guy was solid. Captain Fornoff, Mark Fornoff. He's in Yuma County, so I was a fireman in Yuma. And he would spend a lot of time looking at stocks, looking at different things that are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just kind of opened my thinking, right? A little wider. And we had a few conversations that just kind of were completely different to what I was used to the limiting beliefs, to the, we started talking. I remember one conversation we had, and it was a light conversation about passive revenue and money coming in without you doing any work. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, people do that? Right. So it's the kind of stuff, those little golden nuggets.
Yeah, there's seeds that were planted.
Right. So, I work hard, but I play harder. So I put myself in a tight spot in my early 20s. I was trying to start a business, and I went into it. I got out of the fire department. Long story short, I'm sitting out. So by then, I lived here in Phoenix, and I'm looking out my 2-bedroom apartment window, and they're repoing my car. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem was that they're repoing my car, and at this point I'm living with my girlfriend and my stepdaughter, right? And she's pregnant with my baby now, and so they're repoing my car, and I'm looking at the bedroom. By then I left the fire department to shoot for the from the hip and then aim later. I've gotten better at that a little bit. So I left the fire department. I got a job in construction. So I went back to work in construction like I used to do in high school, and framing and doing whatever I needed to do, like just labor, right? And it was a very dark time. I was a medic, firefighter, and then I went so I got a pay cut. I got all kinds of stuff because I thought it was gonna, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I was driving my fancy new little Eclipse Spider, sports car and whatnot, and I'm looking out the window. I have absolutely, I think maybe 50 cents in the bank account or something like that, so nothing. And I had maybe another $20 in my pocket. They're taking the car away. The fridge is empty. My girlfriend's in the room, and I was the guy who had the audacity to say that, oh yeah, fucking got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a catalyst. That was definitely a catalyst for me to everything before then was very incremental, right? Yeah. So okay, cool. I went from $30,000 to 35, 40, because I was doing well at the fire department.
Right.
And, getting $60,000 a year and whatnot with overtime and all kinds of hours put in. So I felt like I was doing good.
Right.
But that took a while. After that catalyst right there, it was different. Like something's got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I really got serious. I stopped being interested in building my transportation business, and I really got committed. So I switched my hours because I still had to work, right? I still got to get a paycheck. Now the car was repoed, so it almost was like a blessing in disguise. I didn't have to pay for it anymore, so I could buy milk. And this happened over a very, very short period of time. But I switched my hours. I called my boss. I'm like, hey, listen, can I change my hours? Can I come in earlier? I don't know. He goes, well, the only thing I can do for you is have you come in at 3 a.m. And then I told him I just need the most time during the daytime because I got to handle some stuff. The first one to be on site. By the time everybody was in lunch, I was going home. So I would go home and start working on spreadsheets, understanding Excel files, how to put together contracts, how to make proposals, how to find funding for the first vehicle, because transportation business, that's the one idea that I had going on, and did that. I did that for it had to be, it was a tough time. So I would go to bed, 9, 10, and then wake up 2:30 and then go straight to work again.
Wow.
That's the thing. During the work hours, you're building somebody else's dream, but for yours, you have to put in the work. It's not theoretical.
Yeah.
It's really how shit works.
Yeah.
That was a catalyst. And I guess that particular boss, Albert, he taught me a few things. One experience that I'll never forget is that he used to design everything in CAD. He used to design everything in CAD work, right? His shop is actually down the street on 28th Street in Washington. Rainmaker.
Oh, so he's like neighbors.
Yeah, we're neighbors now. So he used to design everything, and he pulled me from the job site. He goes, I want you to do this project for me. He gave me blueprints. He goes, do you know how to read blueprints? But then I didn't care for saying no. I was like, no, but I'll figure it out. I promise you'll figure it out. Just give me whatever you got. I was hungry.
Yeah.
And then he gave me the blueprints, and he goes, put these doors together. Beautiful rustic doors. Right now they're sitting outside the restaurant on 16th Street and Washington. 16th Street in Washington. Yeah. Oh, not Washington. Yeah. Roosevelt, I'm sorry.
Roosevelt.
By Tradiciones,
okay.
yeah. Well, that restaurant, those big wooden doors, I built those with his blueprints, right?
Oh, wow.
And he had me put those together and build them out and whatnot. I did the cutting. I would come in and leave at 1. And I worked on that, I think, for it took me 4 months, maybe 3 months, 4 months to put them together, right? It was a big project. But he had me do it solo.
Right.
At the end of it, he goes, how much did you get paid on those? And I was like, well, you're paying me $9 an hour. And I was doing, 10 hours a day and whatnot. He goes, cool. Did the math. He gave me a few $1,000s to build them, right? And I did all the work. And he goes, this is really like one of the things that just set the stamp. He goes, all I did was draw them. You know how much they paid me for those doors? Like, no, what? And I was expecting, $5,000, $6,000 or something, like $80,000. So he made $80,000, and I got like $4,000 or $5,000 just because of labor. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And he didn't do it out of being mean or anything, but he just understood. He knew where I was. He knew I was building the transportation company, and he was giving me that push, right?
Yeah.
So I had the blessing of coming across people that are not. Now I call them indirect mentors. Yeah. They weren't necessarily giving me mentorship, but I was learning so much from them because I was in proximity of.
Yeah, I've had mentors the same way. You end up paying. You're paying, but you're also getting paid in knowledge, right? And experience. So, yeah, I think that's how my first mentor in real estate was. It's very similar. Took basically half the money, which I look at it like I'm more than happy to. I have no regrets at all about doing it. That's how I got into it. Like you built those doors, and that was, a seed that was planted, or an opportunity you got to work through to better understand. So I could totally appreciate it. So I have some of this is like you're sitting there, you're looking at your car getting repoed. You see nothing in the refrigerator, and your girl with your stepdaughter. I mean, the way I see that is
and a baby.
Yeah.
And a baby in the belly.
So what I call that is a have to. Some people say they're why. I say you have a have to. Like, I would always say, I could sleep on a park bench, but my kids can't. So I have to go and make all this happen, right? So I see that as that was your have to. Like, you have to go make that work, right?
Yeah, there's no other option.
Yeah, it's the the boats were burned at this point, or a bridge, or whatever you want to call it. So I want to ask you this, like, when someone asks you, what does it take to be successful? Like you've spelled it out in your stories, you've said it, but I'm just curious, like when people ask you, like, what does it take to be successful? Do you have like a response to them?
Absolutely. I think, and it's probably not what you're expecting, right? People are going to say, yeah, of course, we've all heard, tenacity and grit and commitment. Yeah. And it is, that's absolutely true. You got to have all that stuff. But I think you have to own the awareness that you can do it. You can't do anything if you're not aware of it first, right? Yeah. You can't learn anything if you're not aware that it's something to learn. Right. We don't know what we don't know, and it's really what happened throughout my earlier years. Right. Becoming aware, putting yourself in different spaces. I was talking to Rod or a trainer this morning, and one of the things that this is actually something that I said to him earlier. Because he said something about talent, and I was playing guitar yesterday in one of the videos, and I was like, no, man, the only talent we all have it's curiosity. We have a talent. Everybody's born with a talent of curiosity. Right. Or with the talent of curiosity, right? Everything else outside of that, it's gonna be work. Right. It's gonna be work. So be curious. I mean, I think it really takes that much to be curious. Put yourself in situations where just your curiosity pulls you that way, and you're gonna end up, meeting great people that are gonna help you along the way. You're gonna, start with a vision. Be curious enough to even craft a potentiality, an alternate world, if for yourself. What's your ideal reality that you want to live in?
Right.
Be curious enough to build that, and take the steps to get yourself to that spot. As you're taking the steps, here's I think what stops most people before they even get started. It's gonna be too hard. I have no idea how to do it. It doesn't fucking matter. You know why? Because if you take 2 steps, you're gonna run into somebody else who may have a better vision,
Right.
and you want to adopt some pieces of that vision, and it's gonna be a pivot. And now
Right.
you have somebody else that you met along the way, and then you have something else that's crafting. And the accumulation of those moments, I think, is really what takes somebody to success.